God commanded us to love one another. And because we don't, we're all going to suffer. If we had loved one another, a lot of this could be prevented, or we could be prepared, better prepare for any of this list. Look at it. Any of this, just study it. Look at it for a couple moments. Which one of these spares any certain religion, any certain nation, any certain groups of people, political party? When these happen, it will strike everyone equally. As the World War III and the US will lose, will result in the nuclear holocaust all over the world. This will spare no one. This will affect from the nuclear cloud all over the world and affect the weather and other items. These items will happen to everyone, no matter what. Like I mentioned, it will spare no one. And don't think that people say, oh, we'll be risen and God will judge from that so we can prevent. No, it's not going to happen that way. It's not how God has it. This earth has it. It's our religion and our pride thinks that we are spared from it. No. The biggest problem we've ever had is God made man over and over his own image. That has been the fallacy in the beginning. Look at the list, study it. These 10 hexes has happened and will happen, just as a warning. Study it. It spares no one. Look at it. And it's all because God commanded us to love one another, and we have failed to do that.
People have asked, what's the meaning of life? Why am I here? The answer is pretty simple. It's all of us together. Whatever entity you want to call this, whether it be life out there in space, the magnetic fields, or God is uploading all of our experiences, good and bad. And from that, this entity has figured out the meaning of life here on Earth. And now has figured out the problems and the mess we've made and how to solve it. From this, it's been giving us answers through all of it. Came from the oceans. And we've lived on Earth. Life has changed many times. Tried to get it started. But then we went back and life had to begin all over again in the oceans. The reasons for people is that we are just a short time frame on this earth, in the time frame. And it's our religion has created many of our problems, our pride. And this will make us go back into the oceans and destroy our problems. Has always been people of everybody. No matter what religion, no matter what atheists, religious, agnostics. God has worked through all of us and with answers, pieces of the puzzle. The only problem is the ones who come up with the answers may be outside of our group, that we don't like to listen to them. It might be also those that we do not like. And even worse yet, some people who have ideas that are outside of our way of thinking. That has caused a lot of strife. We don't like the person. We demonize him. From this, God has worked through us to give us the answers. And we're all like part of the problem of why we don't like to listen as a result of our lives individually are like note to a song, letter to a book, color to a painting, piece to a puzzle. Together we can solve our problems. Individually, we will not. As this entity gives us answers, the biggest tragedy is some of those people have given the best answers, or could have given the best answers, have been those of the kids. have the poor education, also some people with the health care that have been denied. They could have contributed to something in society. The tragedy is that because we do not reach out to them with good education and health care, our problems will never be solved. We need to move like a sailboat, in harmony, let the winds take us. When we have conflicts like sinking a boat, and that will not be good for mankind.
A place called Earth. It was hot, a violent world, barren and lifeless. It was a world of water and fire. Toxic gases and smoke. But something magical happened to Earth to change all of that. Life, wonderful thing. The dinosaur stage, then man. We've progressed, and also life as well. All wonderfully designed for us all to enjoy. How did life on Earth begin? How did we get from this to this? Was life born as a random combination of atoms? Did life come from space long ago? Was the earth and its life created by gods? Jesus was here long ago. Biggest problem with Google searches is Jesus and Google had met, he would have had a background check show up highly on his Google searches. Instead of talking about what he was trying to preach and say, as he was very mad at the corruption of money and how Google has controlled what comes up on highly on Google searches. Jesus would have had a background check and people would not have gone past what he was trying to say. This scene would have been all over his record. Yet he was preaching the word from God. So somehow we got to get money out of the Google searches, education, etc. If we're going to have true free flow of information to get everybody out there to hear the messages that's being said, no matter what the person's background, whether it be background check, whether it be if they're an atheist, whether they're homeless, whether they don't have much of a work record. God works through all of us. And we got to get the big money out of also the big media. Big media controls what is being said. As Jesus was among the crowd, and people are asking him questions. In Matthew 18:2, Jesus said, he called a child whom he put among them and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." We adults like to kids to think like us adults, which it should be the other way around. We should be learn from kids. Kids are always laughing. Kids are always learning. Kids are always, if they get mad, they forgive each other. That's the way us adults need to do in our politics, the way we treat each other. Our politics has gotten too serious. Our politics is so vengeful. If we want to bring harmony in the world, let's think about how children think. And let's learn from each other like a child. If we were more like a child and reached out to others, how many real abortions you can avoid from happening in other people's lives? A nice smile, a nice playful bantering on the airwaves of our media. That child, the seriousness in our media and everything, we have definitely aborted the children in our souls. And that is the biggest problem, the biggest catastrophe of it all. If we were laughing, more bantering, more having fun, we could seriously reduce social problems. People turn on the set and they see all this seriousness and vengefulness and etc. That is what we need to do, is reborn the child in us and on our airways with each other. Then we start the healing process in society. It was like I was saying, God works through all of us. God is in us. And the answers are from everywhere. From that, we can conclude the answers are within our hearts, not up above, but within us. We all have the Jesus in us, the Moses, the Muhammad, the Buddha. All these prophets have come together, just like the Avengers. They came together, all the superheroes. They came together to fight the evil, the big, powerful evil forces. And those forces have come through our hearts. And from that, we can find the power within each other. And that's the answer, part of the answer, as we work together. The only thing we have to hate is that simple.